story begins with a man named Frank Walker. He speaks to an unseen audience about the future, but his words sound gloomy. A female voice interrupts, telling him to be more positive. Frank agrees and starts to remember his childhood. He tells how, in 1964, he went to the World's Fair in New York City as a young boy with a dream. He brought a special invention, a homemade jetpack. But when he shows it to David Nix, the judge at the Hall of Inventions, Nix isn't impressed. He says it doesn't work perfectly. However, a mysterious little girl named Athena sees potential in Frank's invention. She secretly gives him a special pin with the letter T on it and tells him to follow her. Frank puts on the pin and sneaks into a ride called It's a Small World. Suddenly, a hidden scanner reads the pin, and Frank is transported to a secret futuristic world. It's full of flying vehicles, robots, and breathtaking sights. Frank is amazed but quickly gets into trouble. His jetpack is taken by a robot. Surprisingly, the robot fixes it and makes it work. Frank tries the jetpack and flies around the city. He feels happy and hopeful, but Nix only gives him a cold look. Luckily, Athena smiles at him, showing her support. Now, the story shifts to the present. We meet a teenager named Casey Newton. She's an optimist who believes in fixing problems instead of giving up. Casey lives with her father Eddie, Tim McGraw, who works for NASA. One night, after hearing that NASA brought equipment from Orlando to dismantle the platform, Casey tries to stop them but is caught by security. Her father bails her out, and as Casey collects her belongings, she finds a pin with a T on it. When she touches it, she is transported to a field of wheat with a futuristic city in the distance. On the way home, she shows the pin to her father, but it doesn't work when he touches it. That night, Casey sneaks out to a field and touches the pin again. She appears in a futuristic city with jetpacks, hover trains, and a rocket station. She follows a group of space travelers until the pin loses power, leaving her waist-deep in a lake. Waking up her little brother Nate, she asks him for help trying to find another pin on the internet. She finds a shop in Houston, Texas, called Blast from the Past, which might know more about the pin. Casey travels to Houston and meets shop owners Ursula and Hugo. They explain that the pin is connected to a secret group called Plus Ultra, which built a better world. When Casey says she found the pin by chance, they grow suspicious. Suddenly, Ursula and Hugo pull out laser guns and try to attack her. Athena saves Casey by using a time bomb that freezes everything within 15 feet. Once free, they fight the attackers. Athena pulls off Ursula's head, and Hugo is impaled. The two escape before Hugo self-destructs. Athena then breaks into a car, and they quickly drive away. In the car, Athena reveals that the people who attacked them were audio-animatronic robots. She also admits she gave Casey the pin. Casey panics when she notices Athena is damaged and realizes she's a robot too. Casey tries to run, but Athena chases her. Suddenly, a truck hits Athena, and Casey seizes the chance to steal it. Athena quickly recovers and catches up, revealing she's from the place Casey saw through the pin, but warns it might not exist for long. After a brief talk, Casey realizes Athena means no harm and decides to trust her. Athena takes Casey to Frank Walker's house. Now an older man, Frank has become bitter and withdrawn. He tells Casey that the futuristic city she saw doesn't exist anymore. It was just a hologram. Casey refuses to give up. She believes there's still hope for the future. Her optimism makes a small change in Frank's doomsday predictions, which catches his attention. Suddenly, robots disguised as government agents attack Frank's house. Frank, Casey, and Athena escape in a bathtub rocket. The group travels to Paris, where Frank reveals a hidden secret inside the Eiffel Tower. They discover a giant rocket hidden beneath the city. The rocket launches and takes them to Tomorrowland, the secret world Casey saw through the pin. But when they arrive, the city is empty and abandoned. They meet David Nix, who is still in charge. Nix reveals that a machine is showing humanity the destruction of Earth's future. Instead of inspiring people to change, the visions made people give up hope. Casey refuses to accept this bleak future. Her positive attitude causes a shift in the machine's predictions. Frank realizes that Casey has the power to change the future. The three are brought before Nix, who has decided to banish them to a deserted island, via a portal. Frank attempts to tell Nix about what they found out, but he claims that shutting down the sphere won't make any difference. A battle breaks out. Casey, Frank, and Athena fight against Nix and his robots. In a heroic moment, Athena sacrifices herself to destroy the Doomsday Machine. With the machine destroyed, the future looks brighter. Frank and Casey decide to rebuild Tomorrowland. The movie ends with a hopeful message. Frank and Casey start recruiting new dreamers to join their mission. They create more T-pins and send them out into the world to find people who believe in making the world a better place. As we see people from all over the world finding the pins and being transported to the wheat field, the message is clear: the future is what we make of it. Tomorrowland is a movie about hope, dreams, and the power of optimism. It reminds us that the future isn't set in stone. We have the power to change it by choosing hope over despair and action over apathy. What did you think of this recap? Would you like more recaps like this? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more amazing stories.